Hi everybody, Jeremy Patterson with Fairway Mortgage, and I'm sitting here with my lovely bride, Courtney Patterson, and we're gonna talk
budgeting.
Ooh, it's so much fun.
It's awesome.
Like, we just can't wait. I think budgeting is one of those things that we love to do. We've gotten really good at it, but we have challenges, so we thought it'd be a lot of fun to talk about some of our wins and some of our losses this month, and just encourage everybody to take the time to start to develop a budget and really start to pay close attention to the dollars you're spending. And I just thought it'd be a lot of fun to kind of talk about it. So we want to start with wins or losses?
Let's go with wins.
Okay, let's start with wins. Which one do you want to start with, Courtney?
Probably the one that you want to start with because you're so proud of it.
100%.
Go ahead.
I had more money left over out of our $200 spending money. So if you remember from the last budgeting meeting, we both get $200 in cash every month to be able to spend however we want. And I had more money left.
He definitely did.
It's just kind of a competition between us because we love to figure out ways to, have each other spend money.
Because most months, I win. But I was really excited about a couple of things earlier in the month, and so within the first 5 or 6 days, I was out. I was strictly spending based on my budgeting categories after that.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't really have much going on for the month, and
You won?
Yeah, I
It's
won.
okay.
I like that. That feels really good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me have the win.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What else?
I had a win too, though.
Okay.
It was at the grocery store. So there's one thing that if I can drive this point home to you guys in terms of budgeting and the cash system and saving money, I 100% believe that if you switch to the cash system and plan out your grocery trips, you're gonna save money no matter what. We are a little bit different in that we don't just go to the grocery store and buy food and try to figure out as we go because it stresses me out. So over the weekend, I'll make a menu, a grocery list, and go to the store and I shop off the list, and then we make those meals for the week and we don't have to think about it again after that. And this month, with our cash, I was under with our groceries, which means I found some good sales. I shopped at different stores where it was appropriate. I always like to say that sometimes Costco makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. For us, when we eat a lot of chicken in the same week, buying chicken at Sprouts is just it's ridiculously expensive. But if you know you're gonna go through a lot, or they have them in those nice convenient freezer packs, you can go to Costco and get your chicken. You'll save some money in your overall monthly budget as long as you're actually using the food. So this month, in terms of groceries, we came in under, so I always think that's a win because I'm not gonna lie, that's all on me.
Yeah, 100% is it all on you. Yeah, Courtney is a fantastic cook, and if you watch her on Instagram, and she has all that stuff, and she takes pictures, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But for us, we also factored in inflation.
Yeah.
Right? Because we knew it was going to be more expensive. The cost of goods are going up. Everything is becoming more expensive. The fun thing about playing with cash and planning the month as far as how you're going to spend money is you can just have a really good conversation about that and look at it and decide, okay, we have to do this. We know what's going to happen. The biggest thing that I see a lot of families struggle with is things catch them off guard, so they wind up not realizing how much money they spent, and next thing you know, now they're behind for the following month, and it's really hard to make that up. Yeah. Definitely.
And the grocery store is one of those places where if you spend a lot because you go when you're hungry, or you take your kids with you, or sometimes your husband, you're not really bad about throwing things in the cart, but that's not stuff you can return. I mean, I guess maybe you could, but I don't know how many of us would actually go back to the grocery store and be like, you know what, take back these Cheerios, I've decided we're not gonna eat them. So it's sort of one of those expenses that once you spend it, you're committed. And that's why I always get really excited when I know that I brought my $200, and especially when I tally the math, because I'm not, when you're shopping at the grocery store, you're doing a couple different things. So as I'm tallying, I'm not always right on, but when I come in right what I thought I was gonna spend, it always makes me so happy.
Yeah. It's always fun to watch when you come home. She comes home from the store excited about it, so it's fun and it's good. What other wins?
I think those might have been our only 2 wins this month.
Yeah, we had a lot more losses, I think, this month, just because we had things pop up that it just cost more money. We just weren't expecting it. So every time that something came up that we had to spend more money, we would have our budget meeting, which, if you guys don't forget,
Yeah, a budget meeting is not a bad thing. It just means that it's, a bump in the road. It's something you didn't plan on in the beginning of the month when you're putting your budget together, or something that came in as an immediate need or just over what you had put in that category. So for us, one of the issues that we had was I got really excited to sign Claire up for soccer. but I didn't realize that like it was starting, so I needed to sign her up, and I was like, okay, we don't have a line item for that necessarily. So I had a budget meeting with Jeremy to make sure like if I pulled it from this other category that we were good, that we could manage, and we didn't necessarily need that one category this month. We could put it off until next month.
Yeah, and we also had a car issue where a car needed a repair. I think we've all had that, right? You weren't expecting it, it pops up. The difference for us is we just simply talk about it and decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and what it's going to affect for the month. Make the change and go. You can't not pay your mechanic, right? You kind of have to have a car, right? No matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bit of a struggle for us this month.
Yeah, usually we might have a budget meeting.
Yeah, this month more
sometimes
often.
none, and this one we probably had 3 or 4. Which I think is good. It shows that no matter what, no matter how much experience you have, that budgeting is an ongoing process, and nobody's ever going to be perfect at it, but it's the fact that you're putting in the time and the effort and energy to guide it in the right direction. That's the win, really.
Yeah, and I think a win for me is just the reality that we can have such a great conversation about it, right? It's not an argument, it's not a can I, it's more of a should we, right?
Yeah.
And in situations where life pops up, we just have a really great conversation, and we just make sure that it's, in our path and still in the direction we want to go, and it just kind of works out.
Yeah.
One of the other losses was being able to use cash, right? You had a couple places you went, they wouldn't take cash.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to talk about a different loss. We'll get to that one later. Yeah, I went to a store and I'm checking out, and they were literally like, we can't take cash here. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, we take Venmo or we take PayPal, and even though I'm technically an elder millennial, I can't be bothered with all that. I have my cash, I just want to spend my money, and I couldn't spend it. So I do have an emergency credit card that we put that charge on, and then I take my money out to kind of account for it so it's not double spent. But I was like, this is not something I planned on here. I don't like this.
Yeah, and it's really hard right now not to have credit cards and not use them, right? Things pop up, you need something that you can't go to the store and buy, you have to order online, it's just easier. What happens if there's a certain product that's cheaper online compared to buying it in the store?
Yeah.
Right? Some of that stuff will pop up. For us, we just use our cash accordingly. So if we use, it's not even a credit card, it's more of a debit card. We just do redeposits. So we take money out of that envelope and we put it as a redeposit, and that way it kind of washes itself out. But
yeah, because
we do have to deal with that.
That's the one thing we want to make sure we don't get caught up in, is if you start using a credit card, then it's really easy to spend, and then you've also got this cash. So you're like, oh, I've got cash left over, but really you don't, because you put that charge on a credit card. So that's why we make sure we have that redeposit envelope. So when that kind of situation does come up, we make sure we're not double dipping there.
Yeah, 100%. All right, what's the last loss?
The last loss is that today is April 7th, and we haven't done our budget yet. Exactly, we'll get some good.
Yeah, I think it happens, right? Yeah. We've been really busy the last week. Courtney hasn't been feeling well. Claire is on a roll as far as just destroying everything and just being a full
2-year-old. She's 2. She loves it.
And sometimes, right, life just kind of gets in the way, right? And it just happens. The problem is when we look at the first week, right, you're not being purposeful with your dollars. Therefore, we start having a problem where we just go, oh, we're going to buy this now. We can get this, and we just don't discuss it. And I think that for both of us, it's really, really important to make sure we set the time, do the work, make sure the budget's in place, so that we can just kind of talk about it and plan.
Well, and like we talked about in the last video, if you watch that one, it really stresses me out to not have the budget, because we've gotten used to this rhythm of knowing how much we're going to spend and what category or our best guess there. And I function really well in those boxes. And now that we're a week in, which is a quarter of the month, I'm like all over the place thinking like, oh, what's coming up? What do we need to spend? Now once we get the cash, I'm just going to spend it all the minute I get it, because I've been holding off. And I mean, in a way it's only a week, but only a week turns into 2 weeks, and the next thing you know, you're like, well, wait till next month. And that's just not how we function our best when it comes to our budget and our family. Yeah, I agree 100%. So we're going to try harder on that. We'll update you guys next month on more wins and losses and how the budget went. It's one of the most important things for our family to be financially focused, and it is really one of those things I want to encourage you guys to continue to look at, continue to work hard, and start to play with, right? A budget is not something that you have to do overnight, but it's something you can kind of play around with and build and start to grow, and it'll give you the freedom you're looking for and be able to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. Yeah, and if you haven't done one yet, it's not too late to start. Like, we'll be doing ours tonight. I hope so. Tonight, tomorrow. very soon because we need to. But if you have never budgeted before and this is your first time, go ahead and start it with 3 weeks left in the month. It's better to start now and then correct and massage it and finesse all the details as you go than to say I'm going to wait until next month because life happens.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we look forward to updating you next month. Bye.